There's a certain day on the horizon that most folks have marked as a moment of serendipity, a sort of spiritual open bar where all good things are supposedly handed out for free. It's funny how quickly people crowd around these dates, half expecting the universe to drop golden tickets in their lap. Yet what if the real mechanism at play is more like a hall of mirrors, where every reflection is slightly warped, every shimmer conceals both promise and a puzzle? On August 9th, the kind of energy gathering is less a parade and more a raw storm front, thick with charge, wild with possibility, and not nearly as straightforward as a calendar would suggest. This kind of surge, when it lands, doesn't hand out prizes. It tosses coins in the air and lets fate call heads or tails. It's easy to imagine these energies as simple or safe, but has anyone truly questioned what happens when a current runs both ways? Maybe it seems odd, even suspicious, that so many latch onto these cycles, believing that one side of the coin is all there is. But that's the trap, isn't it? The kind of force gathering on this day is more like an unscripted orchestra, each note capable of clashing or harmonizing depending on the silent intentions that go unspoken. And those who aren't aware, who don't notice how the tempo shifts beneath the surface, might find themselves caught in a feedback loop, amplifying not their desires but their doubts. If this idea feels too abstract, it might be worth pausing and asking, why do so many look for a pattern in numbers or dates, rather than in their own inner momentum? What does it mean when the line between gift and challenge blurs so completely? There's a twist emerging already, almost like a riddle that's half solved but keeps rearranging itself. If there's a pattern to be found, it's not spelled out in headlines or hashtags, but is quietly winding its way through everyday life. Subtle repetitions, uncanny encounters, odd reversals of fortune. The real crux isn't just in catching these patterns, but in understanding that this portal isn't a passive door, it's more of a revolving threshold that spins in both directions. Those who rush in with unchecked expectations might discover their efforts folding in on themselves, not because they wished for the wrong thing, but because the current itself demands clarity. Isn't it curious how the simplest misstep can turn abundance into retreat? How quickly do plans unravel when the undercurrent isn't noticed until it's too late? Now, for anyone with an eye on manifesting dreams during this time, here's a gentle nudge. What if the act of sharing intentions is less about bending the universe, and more about tuning in to an already humming frequency? Some will drop a 9 in the comment field, hoping for alignment, but perhaps the ritual is not the point. Could it be that every small gesture is a signal, a way of weaving consciousness into the wider fabric? If all of this feels a little cryptic, that's intentional. Sometimes it helps to question what's really being chased and what's chasing back. And finally, there's an almost hidden mechanism at play, something easy to overlook if the focus is just on the surface noise. Most will search for the obvious, the explicit, the numbers staring back from the calendar. Yet the day, like a quiet observer, registers those searching for meaning, even if they can't see the connection. It's less about recognizing the symbol, and more about being recognized by the deeper tides moving behind it all. The story unfolding here is less about the portal itself, and more about the awakening that happens when someone realizes the day is already aware of their presence. Ever wonder what changes when the moment notices the observer? Some moments arrive cloaked as invitations but conceal a far bigger crossroads than anyone expects. On this particular day, what's unfolding goes beyond the surface rituals or social buzz. It's more like being caught at a fork in the river, compelled to decide which current to follow. There's a reason this message lands here, now, a silent demand for choice. Drift with the crowd and watch patterns repeat, or wake up to the realization that not every intention is pure gold. The world has a habit of hyping up the idea of wish-making, as if the cosmos is a vending machine for longing. But here's the kicker: intentions are always shaped by what lives under the surface. The pulse of this portal isn't counting vision boards or affirmations, it's resonating with the hidden undertones in every hope, especially those that don't get admitted out loud. Ever stopped mid-thought and wondered whether what's being projected is healing, or just echoing old bruises? It's easy to mistake this portal for some kind of supernatural shortcut, but it's nothing like a cosmic fairy tale. What's really taking place is more of an unfiltered reflection, one that doesn't play favorites or make excuses. The foundation of any hope, whether bruised by memory or colored by longing, gets magnified under this spotlight. Any fragments of hurt, rivalry, or quiet desperation aren't swept away. Instead, they get turned up like music at a party, impossible to ignore. No one tells the full story. Desire isn't just about longing, it's about what's quietly driving that wish. This energy isn't quietly asking if someone's ready for their vision. It's confronting what's hiding underneath the dream. Most attempts at manifesting end up reanimating the past, sometimes in sharper focus, sometimes just with more volume. The day is less about delivering prizes, and more about revealing what's already cooking behind the scenes. Ever wondered what happens when the mask slips and the real face stares back? After the dust settles, outcomes split. A handful will step away lighter, almost as if some invisible weight dropped off, their inner static suddenly cleared. Others might find themselves more tangled, not due to mistakes, but because the effort went into sculpting a persona that the universe doesn't recognize. It's a paradox. The world doesn't reply to requests, it reacts to the signal being sent out, even if the sender isn't aware of their own frequency. That's what makes this portal a wild card. It simply amplifies whatever is already alive within, desire or denial, clarity or confusion. Sometimes it helps to press pause and ask, is the dream real, or is it just camouflage for discomfort? This energetic window isn't interested in pretense. If there's a performance, it won't withstand the spotlight. Anyone else ever felt like the universe turns up the volume on what's being ignored, not just what's being wished for? This pulse isn't just a gentle nudge, it's a full-scale filter. There's always talk about attracting abundance, chasing alignment, or calling in breakthroughs, but this day operates on a different principle. Appearances mean nothing to this energy, only the raw core matters. Anything polished for show, or clinging by habit, is at risk of being stripped away. Whatever isn't built on something honest, whatever can't hold its own under scrutiny, starts to unravel. Sometimes quietly, sometimes all at once. Has anyone else noticed how fake confidence seems to collapse when nobody's looking, or how empty encouragement rings hollow in the silence? That includes all the half measures and borrowed beliefs, those temporary shields meant to impress or convince. Suddenly, bonds with familiar faces can dissolve, and jobs that once felt good enough become intolerable. Waking up might mean realizing that what's been built so far doesn't quite fit anymore, that the script has run out, or the costume is too tight. This isn't random bad luck, it's the system finding its true shape. Whenever someone's been pretending, 9 is the kind of force that strips away the disguise, exposing what's been simmering beneath. That's why, at times, relationships end abruptly, or life pivots feel both catastrophic and freeing. Not from failure, but because somewhere along the line, authenticity was swapped for acceptance. If the foundation is a facade, this is the moment it gets cleared. This isn't some grand punishment or cosmic slap on the wrist. It's simply the process of getting everything back into rhythm with what actually matters. Sure, there's pain in the letting go, and sometimes grief for what gets left behind. But beneath the noise and the dust, a stronger sense of self is waiting, one that isn't interested in pretending. What's left, when the old stories burn away, is the steady pulse of something real, finally free from the need to hide. Ever notice how quiet things get when the pretending stops? That silence is the sound of true alignment finding its voice. As the 9th day draws close and the internal landscape starts trembling, it's tempting to mistake the shaking for disaster. But maybe what's being felt is less about loss and more about truth surfacing. What was never anchored dissolves, while what's always belonged stands out in stark relief. This moment doesn't care who first sent the ripple, only which note persists in the room. Often overlooked is the fact that creating reality isn't just a solitary art project, painted on the inside of one's skull. Reality is an open field, humming with overlapping pulses. Left unattended, the strongest pattern in the crowd takes over the rhythm, and it's rarely the one intended. Close relationships are especially potent. Those we care about most can unwittingly flood the air with their own storms or sunlight. Has anyone ever noticed how the atmosphere in a room can shift entirely based on a single presence? That's the communal field at work. Progress stalls when the signal goes fuzzy, and it's not always clear why. One might put hours into self-work, repeating new habits, picturing outcomes, and still find the needle unmoved. The explanation often lies in the invisible web linking lives together. Sometimes the field is cluttered with other people's unfinished business. If the room is loaded with anxiety, criticism, or resignation, those undercurrents can easily slip in and derail progress. Often, the signs are subtle. Fatigue after certain conversations, a sudden loss of motivation, or a wave of self-doubt sneaking in after feeling on track. This is how the collective field can override individual intention. On certain days, protecting one's space isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The solution isn't isolation but a kind of clarity, cleaning off internal residue, setting sharper intentions, and choosing what to invite in. Is it possible to remember the last time a simple change in company shifted the entire mood for better or worse? When the energy opens wide, a simple but urgent question emerges. Whose feelings are directing the show? And perhaps more crucially, are those patterns supporting or sabotaging the future being built? On pivotal days, the world seems to divide into two groups, those driving the creation and those swept along by someone else's script. The force at work here isn't cruel or chaotic, but it is relentless in cutting through distractions. Picture a mirror that refuses to smooth out flaws or decorate the truth. Everything hidden beneath layers of pleasantries or denial is broadcast back, clearer and louder. Have you ever caught yourself running from a truth only to find it reflected everywhere? Conversations, setbacks, even chance encounters? This gateway isn't here to prop up illusions or keep secrets safe. Its function is revelation, pure and simple. Complaints about misfortune or heavy energy are often just reactions to the sudden honesty of the moment. The environment isn't generating difficulty, it's echoing back the original broadcast, right down to the last static-filled thought. It doesn't create a new signal, it just boosts whatever's already pulsing beneath the surface. There's a certain poetry to how it all works. Words may be polished, intentions rehearsed, but if the undercurrent is panic or self-doubt, the outcome will mimic that. Ever watched someone smile through gritted teeth, insisting everything is fine, while the air around them buzzes with anxiety? That's the feedback loop in action. At the core, this isn't about punishment. It's about refinement. The day's job isn't to pass judgment, but to distill, intensify, and return what's most honest, even if it's messy. The masks dissolve, the posturing collapses, and what's left is the unmistakable imprint of whatever's been quietly driving the show. Some rise, some unravel, but the difference is never random. The mirror doesn't flex or negotiate, it simply clarifies. The only thing left is what was always there, waiting to be seen. Isn't it strange how, once the illusion's clear, the world feels both sharper and strangely lighter? There's no need to bend the day to one's will. The only thing that matters is the note being played as the curtain rises. Meeting reality where it stands is more valuable than forcing events to fit a script. There's a kind of liberation that happens when pretense falls away and the raw, unfiltered self steps forward. No backup plans, no decorations, just the genuine signal. The entire dance is less about pushing for outcomes and more about allowing the world to meet the self that isn't hiding behind old stories or silent fears. The field reacts not to frantic striving, but to a steady presence willing to be fully revealed. It raises a simple but challenging question. What would happen if every mask was set down for just one day? In moments like these, language grows legs. Each utterance, whether playful or pointed, stretches much further than the immediate moment, shaping the surrounding current. The science is simple. Vocal cords ripple out sound, but intention imprints on the air itself, leaving a trace that outlasts the words. On days where the energy is charged, like the 9th of August, every phrase gathers extra momentum, magnifying whatever rides along with it. Affirmations and jokes, offhand remarks and quiet complaints, all become part of the tapestry being woven in real time. Has anyone paused, mid-sentence, and felt the room shift just from a single word? Another layer is often overlooked. Heightened awareness doesn't only mean more light, but also more eyes, more attention, and sometimes, more opportunistic energies. When the border between visible and invisible grows thinner, it lets in more than just clarity. That open doorway invites both supportive and unpredictable forces, some eager to support, others just as ready to challenge. This isn't a story meant to spark fear, but a reminder that, during rare openings, discernment matters. The filter is off, so what comes and goes is not always up to the conscious mind alone. Precision in expression becomes a quiet superpower here, not through anxious censorship, but through a kind of careful artistry. Offhand jokes about lack, half-meant complaints about connection, or whispered wishes made in moments of frustration are not just thrown away. Sometimes, the energy present responds not to the literal meaning, but to the pulse beneath it, the longing, the cynicism, the quiet hunger. When intentions are a tangle, the environment can misread the signal, leading to outcomes that feel disconnected or even confusing. Ever noticed how sometimes it's not what's said, but the way it lands, that sets off a chain of events? In the heightened hum of this particular day, every form of communication carries weight. The listening field is broad and varied, picking up not just the message, but the charge beneath it. When clarity is absent, the space can fill with echoes that don't truly belong, each one eager to write its own story into the script. This isn't about controlling every breath, but about respecting the moment and letting what's true be the loudest voice in the room. Everything hears. Not everything walks away quietly. There's an overlooked danger in words that seem harmless, even uplifting, especially when they slip through the cracks on a day like August 9th. Take the phrase, "I hope." At first glance, it feels positive, but in the rare current of a triple-aligned portal, it becomes a signal of reluctance, not readiness. Hope, in this setting, is the soft footstep of indecision. It quietly dilutes resolve, turning the energy from sharp clarity to static interference. On a day designed to amplify intent, hesitation is the frequency that multiplies confusion, not creation. The universe tunes itself to what is declared with certainty, not what's whispered with a question mark. The real risk isn't in longing, but in failing to claim a stake in one's own future. Ever noticed how the world seems to echo back not what's asked for, but what's actually staked out in the open? The field is never interested in wishful thinking. It only interacts with conviction. When the words, "I hope," are spoken, power quietly slips away, and the signal is scattered in every direction. It's not about arrogance or demanding more than what's earned, it's about standing rooted, willing to be seen. The portal on this date holds no space for the hesitant or the passive. What it magnifies is not a desire, but a declaration. Those who stand in the space of "I am," or "this is mine," resonate with the frequency that moves mountains. That's not bravado, but embodiment. The signal must be tuned with deliberate intent, otherwise the results become a collage of mixed energies, seemingly promising but hollow when finally delivered. How many times has an opportunity arrived, only to reveal a subtle dissonance once it's within reach? Carrying uncertainty through the portal means crossing a threshold while dragging along shadows of confusion. The result is a mirror, reflecting back not dreams, but doubts dressed as possibilities. The portal doesn't grant wishes, it crystallizes whatever energy is claimed with unwavering clarity. This is the razor's edge. Wishing invites delay, while true claiming draws results with precision. For anyone paying attention, the crucial question rises to the surface. Is the stance one of passive hope, or of deep knowing? This is the silent criteria the portal uses to open its gates, rewarding only those who already inhabit the energy of fulfillment. Sometimes exhaustion isn't just physical, but vibrational. That familiar fog, scattered thoughts, drained energy, the odd sensation of being both restless and depleted, signals more than poor sleep or busy days. As the ninth day draws near, a flood of subtle information arrives, flooding not only the mind but the entire system. This portal doesn't merely stir up feelings or coincidence, it stretches bandwidth. The mind scrambles to process input, the body feels the echoes, and even technology can seem to short out from the pressure. Dreams turn into nightly marathons, leaving the morning with a sense of unfinished business. There's a real phenomenon here. The spirit is sifting through noise, fighting to rise above the static of modern life. That voice within, usually gentle, now insistent, gets lost in the onslaught of digital clutter, old routines, and relentless comparison. As the portal's frequency climbs, that signal grows stronger, but so does the interference. Dizziness, erratic inspiration, and moments of blankness become common as new energies move through unpracticed channels. The body is adapting, trying to interpret input it's never had to process before. This isn't simple fatigue, it's the contest between clarity and distraction. The incoming light works to realign and clarify, while the persistent hum of daily life tries to drown it out. This is a tug-of-war between awakening and numbing, a battle to remember what was meant to be lived, before the static grew so loud. And as always, it's worth asking, when was the last time a moment of true stillness cut through the noise and brought everything back into focus? It's possible to move through the static instead of avoiding it. Discomfort isn't meant to be medicated or ignored, it's meant to be read like a secret code. What if every ache, every offbeat sensation, each night of fractured sleep or spike of worry, is the universe's way of turning up the volume on a message too subtle for the daytime mind? On days thick with meaning, nothing is meaningless. Symptoms are never just background noise. The invitation is to investigate, to track the ripple behind the unrest. Did a stray thought drain the room? Did an old memory trigger a spike of restlessness? The act of staying with the unease, of tracing its origin instead of pushing it away, unlocks insight hiding in plain sight. Anyone ever wonder what waits on the other side of a headache or a sleepless night? Within all this overstimulation lies a kind of code. Odd dreams, tightness in the chest, that unshakable feeling that time is spilling through fingers. These are not random. The universe isn't just flooding the field with energy, it's flooding it with guidance. But clarity doesn't come through a closed door. Rest alone isn't enough if the fatigue is a signal. Calming breaths only go so far when the anxiety is a messenger. Every symptom carries information. The sooner it's deciphered, the quicker the field is reclaimed. The real breakthrough comes for those willing to translate their own unrest. Transformation doesn't come at midnight, but at the moment of recognition. It's the shift, not the clock, that marks the close of a portal. Most people will treat August 9th as a passing event, a headline, a fleeting social media update, another spiritual date with a catchy name. The morning after, screens will light up with notifications and life will snap back to business as usual. But that's where the true current is missed. The effect of a day like this is not about the square on a calendar. It's about how the energy is woven into the choices, the permissions granted, and the truths left unspoken. The portal isn't a one-time pass, it's a mirror that imprints whatever is brought to it. Thoughts, spoken and silent, feelings both invited and repressed, will echo forward. Some will sense the world shifting in their favor, unusual connections, old plans resurfacing, long-lost faces appearing with new intentions. It's not luck. It's the culmination of being in sync with one's own inner rhythm. Others will sense a lingering gap, a faint restlessness, a missing piece, an inexplicable sense that something was left unfinished. The portal, after all, only amplifies what is already alive. If clarity led the way, clarity is what multiplies. If indecision or borrowed desires shaped the day, then what follows are patterns of waiting, missed signals, and opportunities that arrive but don't quite land. These results ripple not all at once, but in small, recurring moments, a sense of having overlooked something vital, a quiet question at the edge of awareness. The irony is that even ignoring the portal is a form of participation. Every gesture, every thought, every way of spending the day gets registered. Ritual or routine, distraction or meditation, it all leaves an imprint. So the only real question becomes, what story did the day record? The door will close, the spike in sensation will settle, but the outcomes or lessons persist. There's no erasing what was set in motion. Some will find themselves propelled forward, feeling lighter, more grounded, more in tune. Others will catch themselves in moments of regret, haunted not by what was missed, but by what was never recognized as significant. Ever felt that tug, weeks later, that a certain day changed everything without warning? Sometimes the most important crossings are the ones realized only in hindsight.